Let's talk about sunscreen for a minute. Imagine that you and a group of friends decide to go and have a beach day. Everyone's super excited. You all go, get in the car, head to the beach. Once you get there, you guys are having a blast. You're out in the water, hanging out, throwing a football, but then you guys all decide to lay out for a little bit. About 10 to 15 minutes into laying out, you start to feel like the sun is really, really beating down on your chest. Your skin just starts to kind of sizzle and you think, geez, I hope I brought some sunscreen with me. So you start to rummage around in your bags and you finally found the sunscreen. But right as you're about to apply it, your friend stops you and says, wait, do not put that sunscreen on. This kind of takes you by surprise because you've always been taught to put on sunscreen, you know that you need to put on sunscreen, and you don't want to get skin cancer. But out of curiosity, you say, why? Your friend proceeds to tell you that they've heard a lot of things on Facebook and in the news about how sunscreen actually has more negative effects than it does positive. And they've also heard it from people around town. Now, what do? Do you put it on? Unfortunately, this time you listened to your friend's advice and you didn't put on any sunscreen. What were the consequences? Of course, you came home with a huge burn and are in a lot of pain, and your mom is mad at you. This sunscreen story is a lot like how the vaccine narrative is today. And this is actually a huge problem because vaccines actually save millions of lives every year, especially with the ongoing pandemic. The purpose of my speech today is to show you why getting vaccinated is the right decision by telling you what vaccines are and how they work, the history of the anti-vaccination narrative, and the consequences of going unvaccinated. Vaccines have actually been around for hundreds of years, and through the course of human history, diseases and illnesses have affected billions of lives. In 1776, cowpox in general was taking its toll on the population. But finally, Dr. Edward Jenner performed the first vaccination in the world. This event was game-changing and has advanced medical treatments and improved the way of life completely. Ever since this first vaccine, our vaccines have obviously progressed as new technology and enhancements have come out. To dive a little deeper into how vaccines actually work, I'm going to show this short clip.
Vaccines are a miracle. They've saved millions of lives. But exactly how do they work? Well, they connect to the human immune system, which is itself really phenomenal. So when a germ gets inside and attacks your body, the immune system sees unusual foreign shapes on the surface. And then special cells in your body called white blood cells create antibodies that connect up. Then your immune system knows to go and kill this foreign object. The idea of the vaccine is instead of having to get sick the first time to develop this immunity, we take something that looks like a foreign bug, teach the immune system the shape of this foreign object so it's ready to attack with antibodies very, very quickly when the real bug shows up.
From that video, we learned that vaccines are really important in preventing illnesses and diseases from actually causing death. The problem that comes is when the anti-vaccination ideology comes in and actually prevents those that are on the fence from getting vaccinated. One of the most known and important anti-vaccine narratives came in the year 1998 when a doctor named Andrew Wakefield and his colleagues published a paper in the journal Lancet. This paper stated that there was a correlation between vaccines and autism. Wakefield hypothesized that the e-measles, CA mumps, and rubella MMR vaccine, one of the most important vaccines for young children, actually led to the development of autism. Little did we know, Wakefield had his own agenda, and Investigation soon started on the experiment and study. The investigation showed that nothing that Wakefield claimed about the children in his study actually matched their medical records. It turned out that Wakefield was being paid before and during the study for advising lawyers on a lawsuit against the makers of the MMR vaccine. At the time he entered the children into his study, all of their parents were already clients of the lawyers paying him. At the end of it all, he actually got paid $700,000. Now, this was very significant because a lot of damage was done because of this report. But since it was published, the paper was retracted and viewed as not being a part of the science community because there were so many major flaws. Lancet, the journal that published this paper, stated that it should have never been published in the first place. Although it has been retracted and Lancet came out and made that statement, many members of society still believe in the association between vaccines and autism. And ever since that paper has come out, the number of vaccines being administered has severely decreased. And although there's still a strong support of the anti-vax ideology today, there's no denying the consequences that can come from being unvaccinated. Vaccines are so important to the overall health of the population, and vaccines have actually eradicated many diseases. Throughout history, diphtheria, rubella, the measles, and smallpox, along with many other diseases, have a reduced death rate of 100% because of vaccines. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get vaccinated against them. 1.5 million people worldwide die from vaccine-preventable diseases each year, according to the World Source Network. And it's not only for your safety to get vaccinated, but it's for the safety of others as well. This is India's story. At the age of 15, India went on a school field trip. The next day, she ended up in the hospital. She had caught meningitis from an unvaccinated schoolmate. Luckily, she survived, but not without struggling with issues due to the meningitis and attending physical, occupational, and speech therapy for years. Now, at the age of 23, India still experiences issues due to her meningitis. So, it's not just for the safety of yourself, but it's for the safety of others that you should get vaccinated. There are so many consequences that can come from it. Today, we learned how vaccines work, the history of vaccinations and their negative connotations associated with them, as well as the real-life consequences of being unvaccinated, just like India. Hopefully, the information shown to you today has changed your opinion and motivated you to get the vaccine. I urge you all to go and get vaccinated and to educate those around you to know the benefits of being vaccinated as well. Thank you.